In summary, you're responsible for your life. You're responsible to create the life you want. Just you. Hello everybody, my name is Dumebi Madezie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you're new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I am starting off with something I love immensely. I am hoping it's something that grows and I'm able to expand. And this is the book review series. So fun fact for me, I think what I enjoy even more than the information I get from reading a new book is the act of reading a book. That is actually the only time I feel people tend not to interrupt you, right? So it's the biggest form of me time. People tend to need your attention when they see you. No, tend to need your attention far less when they see you reading a book. People think twice, oh, she's busy. Oh, she's busy. So it's just that time where you can really sit down and be immersed in your own world and just be by yourself. So to start off this series, I will be starting off with a book I love immensely when I decided to start my journey on creating a life that was, for lack of a better word, less anxious, a life I felt I had control over, and a life I felt I will be happy with. This was the book I started with. So I am definitely not where I want to be, but baby steps. But this book I saw was a very, very good starting point. And it's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. Regardless of what stage you are in life, this book will resonate with you. So you could be in a profession you do not like, in a work environment you do not like, starting a business, thinking of leaving a business, thinking of starting a family, thinking of having children, just having children, successful, not success, all of that. And this book will resonate deeply with you. One thing I found reading this book is I could be reading something and my brain would go, oh, I could apply this here, I could apply this there, I could apply this there. And this would be like different instances from different spectrums. So I could be like, oh, in my business or at work or with friends or with family, I could definitely apply this. It tells its principles in ways that don't box you in. Oh, I should only apply this at work. Oh, I should only apply this here. It tells its principles in a way that you would find effective, like I said, regardless of what stage you are in life. So without further ado, let's get into it. First off, I'll start with an intro. So I personally think what makes this book stand out from a lot of success books, and not just me, I've seen that other people say that too, is it gives you its principles from the inside out, right? So a lot of success books will be like, they look at the outward thing. How do I show up to things? How do I speak? How do I carry myself? And all that and all that. And those are very important. But this book looks at you from the inside. How can I work on the things within my control inside of me? So it focuses more on the character ethics as opposed to the personality ethics. It focuses more on you building the right character, because that would always shine through to affect every other thing externally. So that's what this book does. It also focuses on you staying firm on the things you can control and taking yourself out of the things you can't control. And as human beings, we tend to sit down firmly on the things we can't control and yap and do all that, speak about it, complain about it, but then it doesn't change anything, right? It just makes you sad or worried or angry or agitated. First habit is be proactive. In summary, you're responsible for your life. You're responsible to create the life you want. Just you. This principle states that people can be two ways. They can either be proactive or reactive. Proactive person understand the concept of circle of influence, and circle of concern. They understand how to differentiate both of that and which to focus on. Now, a circle of influence are things that you can control. A circle of concern are things you can't control. For example, the economy. What's happening in government? Except you're in government, you really cannot control that. The weather, except your mother nature, you really cannot control that. What people are saying online, except you are those people, you really can't control that. But a reactive person will tend to focus on those things and just complain and complain and complain and get themselves into a bind and all that. But a proactive person understands that I should concentrate on my circle of influence. These are things like your hobbies, your skills, who do you spend time with, what do you accept or what do you allow on your timeline, how do you better yourself, what do you need to do for yourself to create the life you want. That is what your circle of influence is. Those are things you can actively work on. For example, you want to get into IT. What can I do? I can learn programming. There are so many ways that make a lot of things in our circle of influence so much more attainable, right? The whole idea is to sit within your circle of influence, because it doesn't mean that a productive person does not acknowledge their circle of concern. They acknowledge it's there, right? But the acknowledgement of it being there makes it more crucial for them to focus more on their circle of influence so they can make the right decisions. So the other circle, right, does not affect them as negatively as it could if they just sat down and complained about. This chapter also looks at the stimulus and response theory, right? The basic idea is that we are conditioned to react a certain way to certain stimulus. If we are hot, if we are conditioned to act a certain way, but there's actually a in between. There's a place in between when we can decide, oh, this is how I'm going to react. Oh, this is how I'm going to react. I will take a pause and this is how I'm going to react. The second habit of highly effective people is begin with the end in mind. And for this, the author gave an illustration that I really, really love. And he said, so imagine you're at a funeral, right? And you walk down the aisle and up to the front of the church where they have the casket. And you look in and you're looking at yourself. More people I know, but we're all going to die. In fact, realizing that makes you make better decisions. We are all going to die. So why are you bothered really about things that don't matter? We are all going to die. But I digress. Let me roll it back. So you look down in the casket and you're looking at yourself. What do you want people to say about you? That is basically what begin with the end in mind means. When people are reading out the eulogy and when people are speaking about you at your funeral, what do you want people to say about you? I'd like to read something from the book. So he said, how different our lives are when we really know what is deeply important to us. And keeping that picture in mind, we manage ourselves each day to be and to do what really matters most. If the ladder is not leaning against the right wall, every step we take just gets us to the wrong place faster. We may be very busy, we may be very efficient, but we will also be truly effective only when we begin with the end in mind. So what do you want to say at a funeral? And it's not something you just come up with like, oh, I want to be this. No. You decide on it, you sit down, take your time, decide on it. Now to habitry. Habitry is putting first things first. And this flows directly from habitude. Now that you know what you want at the end, you have to put in the right steps. So you need to ask yourself, right? What one thing am I not doing that if I do now will make a difference in my life, in my business, in my relationships, in my health, in my everything? For me, this question gave me back the answer routine. So there are people that can just get up and be effective and productive. They can stand up, decide on what they're going to do that morning and just move on with their day I'm so jealous of those people. I am not so blessed. I do not have that blessing. I found out, which is it's very ironic that I found this out this year after being on this earth for so many years, that I need routine. I'm one of those people that cannot function well without a routine. If not, I get anxious. In summary, this habit covers self-leadership. What do I need to do? And am I doing it? And that takes us directly to habit 4. Habit 4 is think, win, win. I love this habit so much. This habit just states that life is not a zero-sum game, right? 1 minus 1 must not be 0, must not end at 0. You don't need a winner and a loser in every situation. So in summary, this habit states we all can win. It doesn't have to be a win-lose situation, a lose-win situation, or the worst case, lose-lose situation. These habits just say we need to calm down, right? And most of the time, if you look at most situations, especially in arguments and all that, where somebody needs to be the winner and somebody has to be the loser, if we just calm down and really think about it, and really think about it, there are always solutions that could get everybody off the table happily. This chapter just says, if we both can win, then we can agree to walk away. And this is in small cases within friends, big cases within businesses. Whenever you're approaching a situation, always think of it as win-win. We can always win together. A lack mindset will always have us thinking somebody has got to lose for me to win. Somebody has got to be number 2 for me to be number 1. So let's all try to grow an abundance mindset. See, habit number 5, a lot of us are lying down elegantly like a French lady on that table, and it's seek first to understand, then to be understood. We might not accept it. A lot of us might be like, oh no, but we all lie down. We are all on that table, me inclusive, right? This chapter got me really thinking. One thing I believe in life is being able to call yourself out on your own bullshit, right? You need to be able to tell yourself the truth. And most of the time, we really don't seek to understand, we just want to be understood. In this chapter, Stephen tells a personal story. He said he was having some issues with his son. He was trying to get through to his son. He couldn't get through to his son. And one day he was talking to his friend, and he told his friend, I can't understand my son. He won't just listen to me. His friend asked him, if you can't understand your son, or if you seek to understand your son, shouldn't you be the one listening to him? Because he's saying, I can't understand my son, he won't listen to me. But for you to understand him, you should listen. He also speaks about something that is called empathic listening. And this is when you try to get somebody's perspective to understand why they feel the way they feel and what makes them feel the way they feel, right? To better understand them, not judging them from your own point of view or from most time often misguided moral point of view. You first need to seek to be in that person's shoe to understand why the person feels the way they feel. Empathic listening is the highest level of listening. There are others which are like ignoring, pretending to listen, selective listening, and one which was very surprising, attentive listening. Attentive listening is when you're like just yes, 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 but you're really not seeking to understand what the person is saying or why the person is saying it. You're just attentively listening. Empathic listening is you sitting or putting yourself in the person's shoes, and oftentimes empathic listening never leads to any kind of judgment as compared to all the other forms of listening. One thing I know I do this too, is we listen to reply. So most of the time when you're speaking with someone, you already have your response a word in. You might not say it. Some of us that I do this at times too, can't even wait for the person to finish. We just have to chime in. That is not listening. You need to wait for somebody to speak, understand the person, take it in, before you respond. I would also like to read something from the book for this. It said, we have such a tendency to rush in to fix things up with good advice, but we often fail to take the time to diagnose, to really deeply understand the problem. If I were to summarize in one sentence the single most important principle I have learned in the field of interpersonal relations, it would be this: seek first to understand, then to be understood. This principle is the key to effective interpersonal communication. Habit 6 of the 7 effective habits is synergize. This just means the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. And I think that's where the saying, united we stand, divided we fall, comes from. So the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. I'm going to read something for this too. It said, it means that the relationship which the parts have to each other is a part in and of itself, right? It is not only a part, but the most catalytic, the most empowering, and the most unifying and the most exciting part. I think within the Nigerian and African context, or maybe even outside of that, somewhere that synergy is really lacking is in classrooms. Because even within the classroom environment, with teachers and students, there should be synergy. Within a family, there should be synergy. Within a friendship, there should be synergy. Synergy helps everybody align towards a goal. And the alignment doesn't mean I am better, or my goals are better, or my dreams are more valid. It just means that we understand where we stand in each other's life. We understand where we show forth in each other's life. But like I said, I think this is the habit I really understand, but somehow I'm unable to vocalize. So, but just understand that synergy means everybody's aligned. Everybody's aligned, but it doesn't put person A over person B. Everybody is aligned, and we are all working towards a goal that takes your needs and your wants into perspective, take my needs and wants into perspective, prioritizes all of them, and we are all working towards that. The final habit, which is habit number 7, is sharpen the saw. This one is very important, especially for us modern day human beings, where everything is just go, go, go. So for this, there was a story, right? So imagine a guy is sawing a tree in the forest. He's just going at this tree and has been at it for hours. And his neighbor walks up to him, and the neighbor is like, you've been at that thing for hours, and it will take you at least 6 hours to cut that tree down. What if you should just take a break and sharpen your saw? And the person cutting down the tree says, oh no, I do not have time to take a break and sharpen the saw. Now, if the person takes a break to sharpen the saw, it will take him 1 hour to sharpen the saw, and then 3 hours to cut down the tree, which will then be 4 hours, saving him 2 hours. And that for us is life. We oftentimes feel we can't stop to sharpen the saw because everything is just go, go, go. And I actually blame, not 100%, but I think one of the biggest things that push this is the internet. When everybody's like, you must work hard, you must move, go, 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 go. Just that fast-paced life of you need to be a billionaire by the time you're 2 and a trillionaire by the time. Just very unrealistic goals, right? But oftentimes, just taking a break, stepping out of yourself, stepping out of your environment to sharpen the saw is very important. I remember sometimes in May, April, I took a break. Like, I'm not one to take a break. I'm one to walk, just walk. Because I'm not walking, I'm anxious. I'm like, oh, what's going wrong? But I remember at a point I was like, I just couldn't. I had to stop. And after coming back from that break, I made a decision that was going to be a major part of my life going forward. Stopping periodically to sharpen the saw is very important, especially when it comes to things like our health, especially in a fast-paced city like Lagos, where you just go, 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 go. You've been having that headache for 3 months and you're like, I have to get to work tomorrow morning. I have to be at the office on Saturday. I don't have the time to go check it out. Oh no, I can't take my leave. Who will do my work? If you drop down and pass out and go and see our Heavenly Father one day or just disappear, somebody else will be at your desk the next day. So sharpening the saw is very, very important. If you feel overwhelmed, if you feel like you need to take a break, then you do need to take a break, right? Habit number 7 is sharpen the saw, and those are the 7 habits of highly effective people. So to recap, habit number one is be proactive. In summary, you're responsible for your life. Take your hands off the things you can't control and put them on the things within your control. Once you've done that, you move on to habit number 2. Begin with the end in mind. What do I want said at my funeral? Where do I want to be on my last day? And once you figure that out, you move to habit number 3. You put first things first. Now that I know what I want said on my last day, today is day 1 towards my last day. What do I need to do to achieve that goal I want at the last day? What are the first things I need to do? Then you need to self-manage. Since I've decided on what I have to do, am I holding myself accountable to take the steps that I need to take? That leads us directly now to habit number 4. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. We all, like I said, I don't think I actually know anybody that is not lying firmly on this table. Okay, I might know a few, but a lot of people lie firmly on this table. Seek first to understand. Be an empathic listener. Don't be an attentive listener. It's not okay that you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, that's not okay. In fact, that can be the worst, because you are not really putting yourself in the person's shoe, and most of the time that comes out with judgmental advice. Like when you feel, oh, I need to advise this person. Oh, I need to tell this person what they are doing wrong. We are all sitting on this table. I'm not saying any of us is in the right or in the wrong, but we need to understand that being an attentive listener is not what we need to be. What we need to be is empathic listener. That is habit number 4. Number 5 is think win-win. And I think this links directly to seek first to understand, because if you understand, then you can think win-win. Like it said, life is not a zero-sum game, and this leads directly to habit number 6 is synergize. When we all think win-win and we all understand each other and we all are empathic towards each other, it's easier for us to synergize. Always remember that the whole will always be greater than the sum of the individual pieces. Probably the most important after doing all these habits is always remember to sharpen the saw. Always know when to say, I need to take a break. I don't want to be a gazillionaire, but I need to take a break. I need a mental health check. I need to stop. I need to breathe. So remember to always sharpen the saw. And from my experience, stopping actually pushes you further out, right? Because sometimes you're just struggling, you're just running on fumes. But just stopping to take that break gives you clarity. You come back stronger, you come back better. And I don't think I did justice to this book. I honestly don't think I did justice to this book. And that is why I implore you to get your hands on this book. It is a very, extremely life-changing, extremely good book. As a matter of fact, this is one of the books I know I'll have forever. I will have it forever, and I will always go back and think, I'm in this situation. Maybe I should go and read this chapter, understand what I should be doing. So this is the first review on our new series, the book reviews, and that's all for me today. Thank you, and see you in my next video. Bye.